Honestly, I don't know what took me so long to make this video. I guess I kind of felt like this went without saying, like it was kind of insinuated through my other videos, the fact that I've never had a girlfriend, the fact that I've never kissed a girl, the fact that I don't believe in casual sex. Like, anyone who's been watching my videos for a while could probably put two and two together, even if I didn't explicitly state that I'm a virgin, which I think I have before. All of my friends know this, like everyone who knows me knows this, but it always comes as a surprise when I tell people this. And honestly, I don't know why. Like, I don't really get why it's such a big deal to be a virgin. Like, this is never something that I've been insecure about. This doesn't bother me at all. Like, I'm very, very comfortable talking about this because I just don't see the point in having sex just to have sex, just to say you're not a virgin. And I guess what I'm starting to learn is that my perspective on sex is very different than a lot of people. Like, when I look at a girl, sex is not the first thing that pops up on my mind. Even on NoFap, where like hormones are raging. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still a dude, and dudes have moods. Like, we still get in the mood, but that's just not the way my mind is programmed. When I look at a girl, I don't think about, sex immediately. The first thing I'm thinking about is her. Like, who is she as a person? Or like, I might acknowledge the fact that she's attractive, but I don't really make that connection between like, okay, she's attractive, therefore I want to have sex with her. It's more of like an observation. Oh, she's attractive. And then I just leave it at that. So, like I said, my perspective on sex and women in general is very different than a lot of dudes. And honestly, I think it's always been that way. Like, growing up, sex was never on my mind. I know some people lost their virginity at an early age, like, between the ages of like 13, 14, 15, 16. Like, at that age, I was thinking about video games and sports. Like, I wasn't thinking about girls and sex at the time. Or like, when I was thinking about girls, I wanted a girlfriend, but I didn't think about sex. Like, I didn't know people my age were having sex at the time. Like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of dudes kind of go through this phase where they just become animals. Like, for example, some of my friends, they might see a girl and be like, like, I'd hit that. But like I said, that's not how my mind works. And I've never went through that phase. Like, I just completely missed that phase. I don't know what happened. But, I'm not tripping about it because I feel like it helps me to see women as, people. And I think it catches a lot of girls by surprise, when they see that, like, I'm really actually like this. For example, I remember one time I brought a girl into my room. This was a girl that I talked to. I brought her into my room and we sat there and we watched Netflix for like 3 hours. And like, hindsight is 2020, but looking back on it, I can tell that she thought we were gonna smash, and like, that wasn't on my mind at the time. I was just trying to watch Netflix. Like, I was just trying to like chill with her. And I mean, like, actually chill, like just chill. And, a few hours passed by and then I take her home. And then like, we only probably lasted like a week or two after that. So I don't think that she was really feeling that. But I don't know, sex is just not something that's that important to me. Like, I look more for companionship, like somebody that I can just have fun with and, travel with and do those types of things with. And I think I've mentioned this before in maybe the comments of my NoFap videos, just replying to people, but I'm not sure I've ever really said this in a video. But to me, in order for me to want to have sex with somebody, I have to have an emotional connection with them. Otherwise, it's literally no different than just beating your meat. Like, but with more effort. Like, you gotta pay money and take them out on a date and all that extra stuff. Like, I'm not really for that. I want to build an emotional connection first. I think another reason why I'm like this is because in high school, most of my friends were virgins too. In fact, some of my friends are still virgins. Like, I think there's like, I don't know how many of us are virgins, but most of us are. So I never really had that external pressure from them because they were virgins too. Like, it wasn't really something that we ever talked about. All we talked about were sports and video games. And I feel like that's a good thing. Like, as a kid, we were still kids. Like, we were in high school. We were little as boys. We shouldn't be thinking about, sex and all that stuff. We should be enjoying life as kids, and that's what we did. I feel like a lot of people have sex and lose their virginity just out of peer pressure and curiosity because they're exposed to it so much at a young age. And I'm so glad that I've held on to my V card for so long, because it's like, I know how I was in high school, and I know that I was very, very like socially conscious. Like I really cared about what other people thought about me. And so if like people had pressed me on the fact that I was a virgin, then I'm sure I would have just went and found some girl that I didn't even like and just hooked up with her. And I would have ruined my whole first experience. Like, that first time is something you can't get back. Once you lose your virginity, it's gone. You can't get it back. And so for me, personally, this is me. I'm not saying that, you know, y'all have to do this. I would only lose my virginity to a girl that I could see myself being in a relationship with. And as I've said before, many times over, I want my first girlfriend to be my last girlfriend. Therefore, I would only enter into a relationship with a girl that I could see being my wife. So, in other words, I would only have sex with a girl if I could see her being my wife. And I know it sounds extreme, but at the end of the day, I want my body count to be 1. That's just how I operate. I don't belong to the streets at all. And you know, these days, it's really easy to find someone to have sex. And this is something that I'm like kind of just starting to figure out. I didn't know that girls were just as into sex as guys are. Like, this is some shit that I am just finding out, you know, when I started dating. I didn't know that girls were like that. I always thought that guys were like really thirsty and that girls were just kind of like indifferent to having sex. But what I'm realizing is that girls want sex just as much as guys do. And you know, I've had situations where I might be like having a conversation with the girl on Snapchat or, you know, wherever, and she'll just send me like provocative pictures in the middle of our conversation, like completely disrupting the flow of what we're talking about. And it's like, how do I respond to that? You know, like, I'm not sending you pictures of me. I might have just got her Snapchat like 2 days before that. And to me, that's like, bro, you gotta have some respect for yourself, man. Like, treat yourself how you would treat your friend. Would you just send your best friend's nudes out like all over the place? I mean, not that you should have your best friend's nudes, but hypothetically speaking, if you had your best friend's nudes, would you just send them out to everyone for the world to see? It's like, no, you wouldn't. You know, treat yourself with that same level of respect. Or at least make money doing it. Like, shit, I didn't offer her any money. Start an OnlyFans or something. Like, make money or do something, but don't just do that for no reason. Like, that's not gonna make me want you more. That's gonna make me not want you, if anything. That type of behavior shows me that you belong to the streets. And if you belong to the streets can have you. And I feel like I'm kind of getting on a tangent here, but basically what I'm trying to say is that my perspective on sex is obviously very different from most men and most women, especially people my age. You know, I'm 20 years old. Most 20-year-olds are sex crazy. And I'm on NoFap right now, which puts me at the peak of libido. I don't know if that's how you pronounce the word, but basically sexual desire. And I still don't want to hook up with people. And so I think that kind of goes to show like where I am mentally. You know, I'm not just gonna lose my virginity to any girl. I have very big dreams that are much bigger than sex. Sex will always be there. Like I said, it's easy these days. You know, you can find somebody to lose your virginity to or to just have sex with if you've already lost it. But, you know, my focus is in other places. And, you know, I don't think I'll ever really buy into the hookup culture. It's just not for me. Like I said, if it's something that you do, then, you know, do you. But have some respect for yourself. One thing that NoFap has really taught me is to not settle. And this is a philosophy that I live by. You know, I don't believe in settling. That's why I'd never relapse on NoFap. That's why I don't just find hookups. I don't believe in settling. I'm willing to wait until I find the right one. And, you know, I know she's out there somewhere, but I'm willing to wait until I find the right one. And then I'll go from there. But yeah, once again, this is not something that I'm embarrassed to talk about at all. Like, it just is what it is, you know. If anything, I actually take pride in having my virginity because, like I said, once you lose it, you can't get it back. And you know, I'm clean. I don't have STDs or anything. I don't have to worry about none of that because I'm not just out here messing with all these random girls. But yeah, when I get a girlfriend, she's gonna get it.